Hey, how you going? It's Luke from Drifta, and I've got Kaito with me on camera. We're in the old 76 and we got the new Alu Cab Hardtop trailer on the back. We're heading down to Wallandilly campsite. Pretty windy little road here, and we've got Toru Yamai coming tomorrow. He's the CEO and founder of Snow Peak, and he wants to come and have a look at some Australian campsites. So he's been in Canberra, he's going to Sydney, and Wallandilly is sort of pretty nice bush camping sites halfway between Canberra and Sydney. So we sort of thought, well, let's go down there. I put it on the Drifta fans page and said, well, I'm going, and anybody else wants to come can come, which would be great as well, because you know, Mr. Yamai can then look at some different campsites, which is what he wants to do. And who better to look at Australian campsites than a place full of Drifta fans, you know. And anyway, we're heading down. It's probably about lunchtime, and yeah, I've never been down here before. We don't even really know where we're going. Hopefully Wallandilly's at the end of this road somewhere. We'll set up camp, say good day to a few people, and we've got the new trailer on, which has made some awesome improvements, and I'm so excited about this trailer. Honestly, I've been designing products for 15, 17 years. I've designed literally hundreds of things, and this is probably one of our greatest creations, this trailer, what we've got. You know, we've been designing dot trailers for 5 years, but this trailer, and we'll show you of course, is the pinnacle of our design concepts, and I can't say how excited I am. You know, I don't really get that excited about things, but this thing I am, you know, and it's a little bit like how I felt when I designed the DPR kitchen. That idea came into my head when I was driving back from Adelaide, 14 years ago. I remember the exact place I was where the concept for the DPR kitchen came into my head, and this is another thing that's just sort of you know, eventuated or evolved through a lot with Tofty. And I mean, we built the Tofty had the you know, the army model when we went independent, and then we went to Hardtop. He went the backstracks, but the problem was still integrating the tent with the awning. And you know, the Hardtop is such a great option for people who want to you know, tour day-to-day stop and travel, because it's just so quick. And so yeah, now that we've realised that we've got access over the front, we've done those changes, and this is the trailer we're doing it on, so we'll show you that. So that's pretty exciting. I've also been able to integrate really well the ensuite. Now the ensuite swings out 90 degrees, and then there's some canvas that comes out which forms a window on the side of the hard shell on both backstracks and Alu Cab, which is really needed, because one of the limitations on the hard shells is you're not covering the windows. So if it's really hot and it starts to rain, you know, you need your windows down for airflow, but it's raining, so you need your windows up. Now, so we're providing a shade over the window area, which also helps to keep the temperature much cooler. Now that same piece of canvas comes over and perfectly covers the ensuite. Now a lot of people are really getting into the ensuites, but everyone's saying, what about a roof for them? You know, and some people say, oh, why do you need a roof and a shower? But you know, it's also where your porta potty or your toilet can sit. It's a change room. And once you finish having a shower, if it's raining, you're going to dry yourself and get changed. So it makes sense to have a roof over your ensuite. And this is what does that perfectly. And the other thing is, the important point is, we'll show you, a lot of people who are in the market, you know, I mean, I'm 45, and they're my age and up, really. And a lot of people have, you know, bad knees, bad hips, whatever, and they struggle with the ladder. It's a common thing, you know, a lot of people struggle with the ladder. Now accessing and crawling up a small ladder is not an easy thing to do for anybody. Okay, but the good thing with accessing over the front means that you can have a really nice step onto the front of the drawbar, and then a really nice step up onto the toolbox, and you've literally got a nice platform of the whole toolbox where you can access into the tent. So it takes away this tiny little ladder and gives you a nice big platform and a very simple way of accessing the tent. So there'll be people who just can't use a small ladder, but they really like the concept of this, you know, open plan living camping, which is what a dot is. Yeah, we're pretty excited to show you that, and we'll do that today. So, rightio, we'll see what this Wallandilly campsite is all about. Okay, so we pulled up at Wallandilly, and yeah, beautiful quiet spot here on the river. So do a very quick walk around the trailer and then we'll start to set some of it up. A few changes. Yeah, you can see these boxes on the front here. So these are got stuff inside them, and I've just put a loop strap on there. Right, so it's very easy to undo. Right, now this is what we call a utility box, and my uncle Rob gave me the idea of these. He wanted just a box for bits and pieces, so we've been making those up. Just a simple box made out of scrap. I've got in there some ropes and tools and different things. Alright, so what we really want it for here is to sit that on the ground, and it's going to be a step. So you can see here you've got a good step up to here, a nice little platform. We've got an easy step to here, and we've also got an easy step up to here. So, you know, that is the solution to getting in to these tents. Yeah, we'll set that up in a sec. But basically, that's it. So, you can see how now we've got not just a ladder to set up from, but also a whole platform. And that's it. That's our tent set up, ready to go. So you can see we don't need a ladder here because, you know, we're now in the tent. And so people who struggle a little bit to get up and down ladders will find that really easy. And anybody at all, because it's just such, it just really makes sense. Now, on the next one, we'll probably just open this up a little bit more, so we'll lessen that angle and just make that a little bit more room to get through there. There's several options too with how we get up onto here. We can put a small ladder here and a small step there, but for the moment that works pretty good. The 270 wing awning. And yeah, around here we've got the ensuite. So what we're going to do in a sec is open up the awning and put on the new canvas piece that's over here that shows, that covers over this section here. So you can see with the windows on these rooftop tents, you know, if you had that window open, you're just going to get rain coming straight in. But you need to have it open for ventilation, really. So it makes sense to have a shade over the top of these windows, at least on this side, so that's what we're going to do. And this ensuite also needs a bit of shade over the top. That one piece is going to incorporate and go over both. So that's been a new thing we've done, and it's working really well. Alright, so we might set this awning up and then we'll have another look in a few minutes. No worries. Okay, so the awning's set up, and one of the most important things you can have with the awning of this size is the Snow Peak 30cm stakes. And this peggable foot here at the bottom, just brilliant setup. So that's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, remember these are a big awning, okay, so it's really important that you tie it down well. If it's super windy, you can put another peg in like that, no problems. Okay, so I'll just chuck this table out. This table lives just on top of the storage box here, so we might just set that up here. That's a good spot for it there. The good things with the tables we make is that you can set them up pretty much any height very easily. Alright, nice big bench there. Now the height we've got that at the moment is not too bad. So we'll just lift it up a little bit. Okay, here's the actuators here. And that's about it. So, doesn't get any better than that. You can see the runoff area we have. We've got two curve spreaders here, and I've got a single one over here. Canvas all nice and tight. Drop that one a fraction. It's quite important to be able to have the flexibility to drop and raise these poles as you need to. That's quite an important point. Something we've learned, particularly from seeing the wing awnings without legs. Another little thing we've come across, okay, is these here, and we're going to be looking at selling these shortly. So small clip-on pole. Now what I've done here, we've just made a simple plug-in with the cigarette plug and a couple of leads. So I've plugged it in the back there, and up here I've got a little, just a Y splitter. Right, so that's in there. Inbuilt in this one now, I've got a little power cord that comes out here, and it comes just sitting there. Now what we've done is convert one of these spreader bars into a light. So that's just a normal spreader bar, same as this. Plugs in here. Look at that. Now these lights are different to some other pole lights in that there's no battery in here, and that's been one of the big problems with the other pole lights. Okay, so you need an external source, but at the end of the day you've got 200 amp hours of power sitting right there, so it's just really not necessary to have a battery in a pole. Had a lot of problems with the pole lights, and we'll talk more about that later, but these are an Australian designed, Australian made company. That's a super peg pole with the light inside, so this is really good. Now this one here, very flexible, we can set that anywhere we like. Right, put him here for the moment. Okay to go over the canvas. Plug that one there in, and here we've got orange and also the white light, and even both, so how good's that? Now that's got the flexibility to mount anywhere you like. This one, pull him out further, wherever you like. We could put that over here with an extension lead, so these are going to be great. Okay, we've lifted up the entertainment panel, and in here is a big fusion stereo, some little points. We've got the got meatloaf on the little fusion, and we've got the BMS as well. So still plenty of room there to put other things if you like, and you know, I've got just formed such a great base here. You can plug your phone in. We've changed this around, as you can see. This used to hang down. But we've made this a deeper section now, so it's higher, and the door is lifted up. So that's been changed several times, and now it's working really well. So what we'll do now is just set up the other side, which is the awning and the small tarp, and then we're basically done. Yep. So we've made a canvas tarp that goes on this section here, and we fitted this bit of sail track along here. Okay, it's the first one we've done it to, and this tarp just slides in. So it's a little bit of a sequence where we've got to do it. Clips on there so it doesn't fall down. Now this ensuite, we have to open this up next. I'll show you why. Now this is a South African made product. We've only just got them in. Had a few issues. I saw this first in January, and you know, it's been quite up and down since trying to sort the product out. We've only just been able to receive these ones here now, literally 2 days ago. They're really well made. They've made a lot of improvements in the design, and these are just really well done now. So roll down like that. This flips out. Now we've got to open that right out, you can see, so we can bring this like that. If that's locked in at 90 degrees, we just can't open it up. Okay, so that goes like that. And now we can lock this in at 90 degrees there with that latch. Okay, now I haven't actually done this before because we've only just designed it. So that'll lift up. Wipe these back on. So you can see you really need to slide that tarp in first before you lift this tent up. Now you can get it in afterwards, but it's a lot easier to do there. And what we're trying to do was lock that over there. Okay, so you can see the bolt's there for a reason. Alright, so that locks over that point there. Okay, this is the first one we've made. Me and Jenny made a prototype up the other day. But because we've got this bar out here, which is structural in itself, it just makes sense to hook it onto this point, and it eliminates the need for a pole. Okay, so we probably just need to add a little bit more material in there. And over this side, we're going to have just a normal tent pole. Right, so it simply locks into there. We've just got a piece there it locks into. And we've got this one here. Now it's important on this section to have that down to be nice and tight. Okay, we're going to actually replace this bent spigot with a threaded spigot so we can screw a cap on there. For the moment, what I'll do is I'll put a little rope here, because you can see if that's up loose, it just takes the tension out. So that needs to be pulled down tight. I might just put a peg here. These little OZTENT ropes are just the best thing. That's the new version too. It's got the silver embedded in it, so it's reflective at night. Okay, so have a look at that. And you can see what we've got there is, this does several things. It shades the window. Now if it's really hot, we can have the window down, it'll keep the rain off. That's providing shade to the tent as well. That's providing coverage to your ensuite. And over here, it It's providing a small area where you can get changed, and also a little towel rail to hang your towel on. So I'm just really happy with that setup, and you know, we're going to do exactly the same with the backstrack. So we'll have a backstrack similar concept, but it just opens up together, and we'll have the same concept coming over as this here. Now with the ensuite, I just got a little window there. This is the door. Okay, so have a look inside there. They've improved it a lot. You can see there's no clips here, and these are just the adjustments in this section here, so it doesn't need a clip. You could probably, you know, it works really well. And nice powder coated aluminium frame. They've done really well with these new ones, and it's great that we were able to you know, now have access to them, because just with the new improvements and several new design changes, they're a lot better, and now they're available. So have a look in here. There's a little shower system, and what we've done also, you can see up here, is those hoses were a bit of a mess. Just they were literally just all thrown on the ground, you know, in here. I tried a bag, didn't really work, because this big blue hose is hard to get in a bag. That's just a little clip on a custom nylon bit of strapping, so unclip that and all of those can come off for you. So that works great. So we'll set this up in a minute. And we'll sort of get it going. But that's literally all it is. Water in, hot water out, gas on, and it's a brand new hose. Okay, so there's our hot water, and before long that'll be, you know, in 30 degrees, 31. Pretty soon that'll be, you know, there's 35, 40 degrees there. And that's it. So that's our new setup. The ensuite, the water, the front access, and that's it. You know, I just think that is a brilliant setup. If you got, we're going to put the OZTENT up here shortly, and if you've got kids, then they can go on the OZTENT down there really easily. So it's very easy to combine this with extra space. Your bedding's already in here, your pillows and everything's already in here. And the good thing with front access as well, you can get in and out this way. It's actually a lot easier to get in and out this way. So, no worries. Cool. Okay, so what we've done is set up the OZTENT. This is the RV3, and it's just sitting there, not connected to the awning at all. Okay, so it's just tucked underneath, and you can see we've got a lot of space here. And the RV3 or the RV4 works perfect with the 270 square back awning. So we've got a UNIFLAME stretcher in here. These are great. Yeah, these can be used as a chair. You can put this, you know, anywhere and just sit on. And also it's the stretcher as well. So we've got our mate Matt here staying with us. So he's going to be sleeping in here. I'm I've got a little UNIFLAME table for him. Right. And Matt's got his sleeping bag in a Drifta sleeping bag, and I bought him a Drifta pillow bag because you've got to have one of those. So if you've got kids, you know, once they're, you know, 7 or 8 years old, they're fine basically to sleep in an OZTENT. Everybody's a bit different, but potentially they get to a point where they can sleep in an OZTENT. So if you've got a family and your kids are old enough, or even the adults can sleep down here with them. So even though you can only sleep 2 in here, combined with an OZTENT, you can put in a second OZTENT here as well if you wanted to, and it's unlimited the space. Now if we wanted to take this OZTENT back 2 meters, and we can put the awning up like what Brett Hooker does, and the awning connector can then attach to the Velcro. Okay, so we get a caravan awning connector, we attach some Velcro, and that'll zip onto the awning. So that pushes this tent back, which gives us the OZTENT awning as well. This sort of setup, we don't really need it, we've got lots of space under awning already. But you can see how well that works. Just walk around the back and around this way, Cotto. Just to see how well the OZTENT integrates with the awning. So that's pretty well set up, and didn't take long. The awning, this is the awning with the new drop down poles. It is much better, definitely. Drop down poles are the go for the square back, and that's how we're doing them now. And yeah, I mean, tent pops up, the awning at the back, the ensuite, RV3 there. You know, I don't know if there's a better setup than that. You know, I designed a lot of things, and we've designed a lot of combinations, but that just seems to me to be one of the most perfect setups I've ever seen, and pretty excited to be building them. So yeah, the trailer too, I mean, you're talking between, you know, between 35 and 40 grand. End of the day I could build that trailer for 20, but it's all in the extras. Okay, so if somebody wants to know the price is really irrelevant unless you look at the spec sheet. Okay, but the rooftop tent itself's about 5 grand. You know, by the time you add everything up, things just add up. This has got an independent suspension, the ensuite, shower. This has literally got everything we can put on there. There's not very many extras you can add to this. Fridge, dual batteries and everything. So yeah, when you're looking at price, it's all based on the extras. Now if we looked at that price on the spec sheet, and whatever the price is, if it's a bit much, we can just take some things off for you. There's no worries to take the independent off and put leaf springs on. Saves a fair bit. We can take the entertainment panel out, we can take the fridge out, we can take the dual batteries out. There's a lot of things we can do to bring the price down. And a lot of those things too, quite a few of them you can add on later on if you wanted to. You get it without the fridge, you know, there's $1,500 right there. So anyway, what we're going to do now is whack up the hexatarp and put it here, and then we're about done. Okay. Yeah, righto, so we've camped here the night, and beautiful little spot here, Wallandilly. Given the trailer a good test, and as always we come a few little things we're going to change and improve, and but it's been a good little test out. So show you a couple of quick things. These little gabbing frames are brilliant from Snow Peak, and we're using that a lot now. That'll fit on the end of our DPOR, so these are really popular. Another thing we've come up with also, these have just been released from Snow Peak, and it's just like a serving board. These are great because, you know, if you cook a nice steak or a chop and then you end up putting it on a cold enamel plate or a steel plate, you know, you lose the heat out very quickly. But these you could warm up, you know, if you wanted to, pretty easy. And also you got the beautiful timber feel, so you can put your thumb through there, you know, the sauce doesn't drip off. So if you've got really nice meals, you know, that's a nice thing to serve on, which is pretty cool. So that's something new we've got as well just recently. And yeah, so this little setup at the front here, you know, with the tent and everything's working just brilliant, you know. One of the things last night we noticed, you know, you're sleeping at night and you want to get up to go to the toilet or get up in the morning and you got bare feet, and there's nothing sometimes worse than up and down a ladder with bare feet, especially when you've got a cold aluminium ladder. So we noticed that this morning, you know, it's just so nice to get out of bed, and you know, you've just got such a nice step down here rather than coming up and down on a cold aluminium ladder. So it just does make access so much easier. And look at that. If you're yeah, a little bit elderly, you know, most people are going to be able to access up and down here a lot easier certainly than what you do with the ladder. So we're probably going to do a couple little changes here. I'm going to have a tarp sail truck from the top out, and they're going to come straight down onto here. I'm going to replicate this top bar on an adjustable pin which will come up about this high, and a little handheld here, and also provide a bit of support when you're getting up and down, and the canvas will come down onto that point there, so that'll well cover this whole area in here. So you can see how easy that is, and you know, that's just our prototype. I'm going to get some canvas bags made to go over the top of those little boxes, because they're just a timber bootline box, and we're just going to put a little cover over the top. The shower's working great in the ensuite here. These are the generic ones made in South Africa, so we really need another zip on the other side there, and we're going to do that. So I think we'll have to do that ourselves to try to modify these to get a zip on this other side. Apart from that, this little setup here is working brilliant. You know, I can't just say how good it's working, particularly with this little cover. It covers the window and also covers the ensuite. We might end up swapping the jerry can and the pump around. So the pump's up this side and the jerry can's back here. But apart from that, it's all working really well. So yeah, we're going to close all this up now and get back here. We'll get back to Gloucester and we'll do another little sort of shoot to show some of the changes, update the spec sheet, and this trailer will be ready to go, and we'll start, you know, pumping them out. So alright, so that's pretty much a quick look at the new version of the hardtop with the Alu Cab roof. We can do the same trailer with the backstrack rooftop tent, and you know, pretty excited to start pumping these trailers out. So rightio, thanks very much.